everyone. How are you? So, I really enjoyed being with all of you on the 4th of December for the new moon solar eclipse. I got to go back and watch the recording later to hear what the angels had to say. Because when you're repeating their words, you're not having the original thought. So, I don't usually remember much of what is said. So, yeah, and I know one of you had a birthday gift from Archangel Michael, so that was exciting. Anyway, so we're gonna do it again. I really enjoyed that, and I like working with a smaller group. And it's just when you're holding space for everyone in a healing like that, it's a lot of energy. And we're gonna do this is gonna be a smaller meeting. I'd like to do it for the solstice, Quan Yin. Kuan Yin, the asteroid Kuan Yin, is on my moon. And when I first got into this stuff, one of the first people that I called, she said right away, like, Kuan Yin is in your space, and I'd never heard of Kuan Yin because I was raised in the Assemblies of God. So I was like, who's that? But we're going to be working with Kuan Yin and Gabriel. Kuan Yin, by the way, selected the floral arrangement that we have today. Isn't it beautiful? And I never would have put those colors together, but they always know better. I go with them on the flowers. They tell me where to go. And then while I'm in the store, they'll show me, like, walk over here so I can find, like, the exact flowers that they're talking about. So, yeah, we have St. Anthony lilies with them. So he will join us. And this will be the best I could do for Australia is 5 a.m. So if you sign up, then you get a copy of the recording, whether or not you're at the original meeting. If you're signed up on the email list for that meeting, you get a copy. So if you aren't able to access the recording, when you sign up, you're going to get from the Acuity scheduling link, my scheduling link will send you a truncated link. Click on the truncated link, and that will take you to the meeting. So we only had a few people that missed it, unfortunately, but they did get the recording. And energy, the way that energy works, you're with us at the time that we're doing it. So it'll be noon Central Standard Time on the 21st, which is Tuesday. And I made it much more limited than the last meeting that we had. And so if you want to sign up, I'm going to put the direct link to that session in the show more box. You can go on my website on the book a session page, and it's under live meetings. It's 3333. Once again, we'll just stick with that because we'll just be moving. It will be like 2 hours into Capricorn at that time. And we've had a lot of calendars throughout time, right? Since we came here, we've got all different calendars. We always go with the planets. It was the solstice, and for those of us in the northern hemisphere, it's the return of the light. It's when days begin to get longer again. And then we're going to celebrate, like, moving out of 2021, and I'm sure that the angels will do some cleanup work for that, and then moving into 2022. So yeah, I wanted to tell you guys about that. It's funny, I have a light in this room, and I used to do sessions from this room, and I don't any longer. And so the light, it's one of those lights, I'm sure a lot of you have them, where you can turn on, like, a bunch of different colors. There's a wheel, and then you just choose which colorway you want to see. And the bulb had died. I just left it because I'm never in here. And I still use the one in my daughter's room for her. And I was talking to one of you on, like, you commented on a post on Facebook, and I got a message just to send you a message. I sent a message, and I found out that one of you was going through cancer. We talked about this last video or the video before. I mentioned that a lot of you are dealing with that right now. But I talked to you, and we talked about Mother Mary, and I afterward walked down the hallway, and that light that had been dead for at least a year and a half, I don't know, because it needs a special bulb. I wasn't in the room anyway. It was bright. It was baby blue. That's the way that I see Mother Mary. It was like so bright. I took a picture and I sent it to the woman. And now the light just kind of does what it does. I don't touch it. It's just the different lights come through, and I'm like, oh, interesting, joy. It'll be bright yellow. And the day of December 4th, it started yellow. And by the time we started our meeting that day, it was orange. And lately it's been periwinkle, like indigo, blue. And then I think it was Time magazine. Yikes. But maybe some of you will have seen the article that they picked the color of the year for 2022. It's like the periwinkle indigo. It was the same color that my light has been stuck on. So I was like, wow, just one of the another new magical thing in my life. And this portal with this full moon that we have on the 18th, 19th is the sun is at the galactic center facing the moon, bringing all kinds of insights and downloads. So expect communication from the universe, from your soul. Everybody on the planet is born with psychic abilities. Every single person. Some people shut it down. Maybe, they had a bad experience before they came in. There's all different reasons why people do that. But this is a super psychic full moon. Full moons always are about revelations and intuitive knowledge. But because the galactic center is in play, and now I've honestly started this video over so many times that I'm not even sure if I mentioned that back in the day, the ancients could see ships passing through that portal. NASA is not able to photograph it because there are so many giant red, stars dying out around it, clustered around it. I'm sure that's no coincidence. They can detect that there is a radio signal that comes from it. And a lot of people believe that our sun receives downloads from the central sun through the galactic center. So it's a super psychic, and this starts now. You guys I know that watch me are sensitive. And so, yeah, just be, waiting to receive is what Quan is saying. And so let's look at the chart. The chart, honestly, just whenever you look at anyone's chart, there's a pattern that repeats, usually more than one. This pattern is partnerships going. It's not even, he's also saying Metatron ways of being, going. A lot of stuff is clearing out with this energy. I think that this began for a lot of people when we had the moon at 27 Taurus in November 19th. We had that full moon with Algol. But this is another, Mercury, who rules Gemini, and Gemini is like our peers, our contemporaries. So it's another one of the planets that does the reflection thing. Like married couples a lot of times have a very strong Mercury connection. And, it's the sign of the twin. So do you decide, are you going to listen to fear, or are you going to listen to love and to hope? Everything comes from fear, or it comes from love. So readers who are out there spinning tails, he is saying, linked with fear, that's their tails, right? That's their tail. That isn't an angel talking through them. So really important, and he's bringing that home a lot lately. You don't know, like when I get into someone's space that's been allowing their mind to be filled with conspiracy theories and stuff, I usually don't mention, but I have to clean it out because I can't work on the person because they have so much in their space. It affects us, and this is also a really important time to make sure that you're grounded, because there is an element of trickster anytime that Mercury is around. We get that Loki, god of mischief energy going on. And so this is a really good time that they probably will, depending on where you are in your journey and your trust and belief in your ability to hear and to communicate with your soul, this is a good time to test. Is this thought one of my ego? Is this what my ego is projecting? Or is this highest truth? It's like so many people in unhappy marriages. I can't tell you how many people tell me that their husband is going to die or going to find another person to be with. And they really believe that, an angel or someone told them that. It's like, no, that's like wishful thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's just one example of, learning discernment. It's important. If you're hearing a voice that you associate with an angel and they're telling you like, oh, this is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, then we need to work on our discernment a little bit. That's where that whole dark light, false light comes from. It's just misunderstanding, really. So we look at, of course, Mars is with the South Node, like I talked about in the last video. So if you've been inordinately angry lately, that's why. Or people have been angry toward you. That's why. And whenever a planet comes to a halt, and of course they don't. It's just that they're between the Earth and the Sun, and to us it looks as if they're standing still and then going backward, but it's an optical illusion. But it feels like they are. So we'll have Chiron, who has been retrograde since July 15th. He is going to be stationary direct. Chiron is not just about a wound. Chiron is a gift. I was married to a person who my Chiron is on their Saturn. And I've done, and really in our astrology, even before I was an astrologer and I had somebody interpret it, I really gave gifts to this person. And I obviously that's the way it was meant to be. It's fine. But I gifted them over and over and over again. And they tell people, I am this because of this person. I am this because of this person. Chiron is a gift. It's an inspiration. It's hope. It's like the Christ consciousness. It's our baby, self. Like, have any of you have ever visited the Star Baby Nursery? I love going there, by the way, before we come in, like where we are up there before we come in. It's like that energy. So much hope and renewal, rejuvenation. I'm listening to Sananda, better known as Jesus, on this plane. He just keeps feeding me all of the joy of Christ. So Chiron being direct that day is good. That's a good thing. Venus is stationary retrograde that day. She's gonna move back. And the whole of Venus's retrograde period now from the 19th to the 29th of January is going to be a Venus-Pluto story. It's going to be, people are going to have things with money, issues of worth, of wealth, of going to the depths. Even the Sabian symbol is Mercury rules the moon, and he is at almost 9 Capricorn. And it's a woman thinks of all of the things that have died and rotted to make the soil. This degree realizes the richness of life and seems to know how to enrich anything in which it involves. It helps others become more aware of the constant presence of change in life and a need to completely savor and enjoy the moment. It tunes people into a tremendous abundance around them, and it helps them to tap into it. So that's Venus-Pluto. Tremendous abundance. So that's a really good thing, And if we're having issues with money, it's always, I remember one of the first clients I had when I got on YouTube, she said to me, don't tell me that my money issues are about my self-worth. And so I couldn't. And I don't know whatever happened with that, but that's it. It always is. And I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true. There's something to heal. There's something unforgiven. And if it's something that, we're holding against someone else, that will block us. It will. I forgave a person who did me wrong. I almost said did me dirty. And they bought me a car the next year. They didn't know I forgave them. I never talked to them about it. I just forgave them in my heart. I was tired of carrying around all the anger. Did I have a right to be angry? Absolutely. I sure did. But it's not worth it. It wasn't worth it to me. And that's when everything opened up for me. When I laid that down. That is a big part of this energy because we can't move forward. You can move into another relationship that's going to play out the same way the person you didn't forgive played out. That's what's going to happen. Quan Yin's asteroid, by the way, is in a trine to Saturn from Libra, and Saturn is at 10 now, and he's squaring Uranus. He'll come to 11 on Christmas Eve. And so be careful with the holidays, people. Be real careful because we got Mars in fire too with the South Node. So, and he's coming up to Antares, the heart of the Scorpion. So, yeah, just try to be real quiet, maybe, as we celebrate the holidays. But I want to show you, I circled it down there. So Mercury is the guy with the little antennas on his head. And you can see Juno, the one that looks like a dandelion. You can kind of see it. A dandelion, and then the asteroid Union. They're all together, and they're in a harmonious trine to Uranus to change. So it could be, because this is the second house in the universal chart. This is the second house, so it could be work, a change in job. But for most people, it's going to be a relationship. Also, Uranus is in the 6th, so it really could be related to work. I know a lot of you are having restructuring things in work, and that is part of that Saturn-Uranus square that we've been having all year. So they're not going to wrap it up on Christmas Eve. This is the last time that they're in exact. But then Uranus is going to move back as Saturn moves forward. So they're not going to square again. But, let's give it a couple weeks because they're big guys and they don't move quickly. Also, because the nodes... when we talk about coming into alignment or, getting ourselves awakening, everybody wants to do that, right? Come to enlightenment. We so much focus on our psychic and intuitive and all the fun stuff like that and forget the physical body. And you can't get there without the physical body. So many times, and I'm the same way, when they tell me, put yourself in motion, do something to light your fire. And people don't listen. They just, it doesn't work. I don't care how much knowledge or classes or healings. If we're not, and I'm not talking about being thin, but our body needs motion. Our body needs to move or things will start going away. So he was talking about that because the North Node, which is the collective node, is moving into Taurus, which is the physical body. And Gemini is motion. So this is really a good time to kick off, he is saying a reboot, a restart, restructuring for the physical body. Make it something fun. It doesn't have to be torturous, but there needs to be some motion. Also, I forgot to say, it's 10:35 p.m. Central Standard Time on December 18th, 4:35 a.m. in London on the 19th, and Sydney that day at 3:35 p.m. Sorry about that, I forgot. He said when we were doing notes, forgive it and free yourself. I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube, but I had just an amazing experience with forgiveness. And like I said, it was somebody who I had every right to, if you want to say that, in the human mind, to hold a grudge. But it was like my life improved 1,000,000% when I let it go. And it was a big forgive, but it was worth it. And they didn't even know. You don't have to tell the person. He was also speaking about pets and being vulnerable to their gift of unconditional love. I know I got my cat because he's on my heart all the time, helping me to soften my heart, to open my heart. When we're burned really badly or something crushes us or we feel like we were dealt a blow, we close up. We do. And it's not that people aren't giving love away or demonstrating it to the people around them. It's that they aren't allowing it in. And then we end up with heart problems. So, try to do with your pets, maybe do that. Focus on feeling your heart connecting with theirs. They're safe, right? They're not going to turn on us. Well, most of them are not going to turn on us. But, it's a good way to do that, to train yourself to have an open heart. If you'd like to call love into your life. You know, there are soulmates too. That's why I always, encourage people to be specific when making a request for a soulmate, because you might end up with a puppy. But they are our soulmates. And so if you can use that love, the pet's love, to open your heart and to feel your heart, your own heart vibration, that will help open the psychic centers as well. He was also mentioning sensitivity right now, and that goes along with food sensitivity. So important to be grounded and to really be careful with the diet when Venus is doing this, when she's mixed in there with Pluto. We want to be really careful that what we're eating is good for the gut, is feeding the gut. There's the chemical dopamine is manufactured in the gut. It's so important that our guts are clean. And that's part of that Pluto and Capricorn energy too. So the next few years, we're going to be, we're going to be focusing on that as part of the physical body cleanup because of what Pluto's doing. Also, he wanted me to mention when you are manifesting, or he's saying wishing, or just like letting your mind wander, visualizing, when you're doing the dishes, doing the laundry, visualizing where you want to be and how that feels, and everyone around you being happy, that it's like, projecting into the future something of light, of love. If you're a person that, and this tends to be really what we're born into and trained in, as little kids, who looks at like what could go wrong, then this is a great time to start to clean that up with this full moon. So we'll be feeling Chiron and Venus in a big way in these next few days. Gemini's not known as a very emotional sign, and neither is Sagittarius. But also, I just wanted to talk about the partner thing again, because that Mercury trine Uranus, there's also Vesta and Sagittarius square Neptune. So this is like soul contracts that are changing in some way. Might just go away, but there's definitely an energy of an ending. And what else were you... He's saying that keeping hope alive in our hearts for just in general. Just how, in the ethers out there, it's dragging us down. And how he's saying first thing in the morning, is so important to come into focus on yourself, bringing yourself inward, and feeling like steady and balance, using words of encouragement, he's saying. Hearing your own voice whisper words of encouragement to you, and not just in the morning, but throughout the day. Jupiter, by the way, is at the end of Aquarius, so he is in a harmonious trine with this full moon too. And Aquarius, again, not an emotional sign, so I don't think that it is going to be super emotional. I really don't for a full moon. But yeah, it looks good. Definitely, though, people leaving. And I do kind of wonder if that's why he brought pets up. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously everybody's pet is in a different, space, but that could be part of this as well. My pet that died came back to me, and I still cry about that pet that left. So I get it, and I have a close friend that lost an animal recently too. But so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys for the Solstice ceremony, and we'll do the same kind of reading they're not same reading, but we'll do it in the same way that we did before. But I know they have something special planned, because I can tell whenever I talk about it that they're kind of shading me, so I don't know exactly, but yeah, it'll be nice. And like I said, it's much more limited. The last one I opened up to quite a few more people, so if you're going to register, once you register on my site, you'll get the link to Zoom. It will come in your confirmation email. Click the link and then register on Zoom for it. So anyway, everybody, I will see you, those of you attending, for the solstice ceremony. Sending you so much love, so much hope, so much inspiration. Love you guys. Bye bye.